Dear friends, English Literature, Introduction to Drama, Arms and the Man by George Bernard Shaw. Short questions with answers. Short questions 1 to 11. Question 1. What is a drama of ideas? Answer. A drama of ideas is a type of drama which deals with certain ideas. In this type of drama, a social problem is illustrated and characters expresses the thoughts and feelings of the dramatist, and usually a solution is suggested. In a drama of ideas, the dramatic characters expresses the thoughts and ideas of the dramatists. The soul of the drama is conflict. And in a drama of ideas, we have the conflict of ideas and the conflict of speech. Ideas are more important than feeling. When the dramatist deals with emotions, he leaves much to be desired. He fails to create satisfactory emotional situations. He cannot express the depth and seriousness of human passions. In such a drama, the structure and characterization are of little importance. The importance is given on discussion. There is practically no action in a drama of ideas. The characters talk, and here conversation is equivalent to action. The characters preach to the audience the ideas of the dramatist. The success of this kind of drama depends on the perfection of the discussion or dialogue. Question 2. Why is Shaw's Arms and the Man called a drama of ideas? Answer. Arms and the Man is a drama of ideas. Display lacks in action. The characters are types. They are all talking characters. They give their mental reaction to the world in long speeches. This accounts for the conflict of speech and the conflict of ideas. Through these conflicts, Shaw in the play exposes the follies and unrealities associated with war and love. The follies of war are exposed through the characters of Bluntschli, Sergius, and Petkov. Sergius led a cavalry charge against a battery of machine guns, violating the rules of military science. He won the battle because the Serbs had no right kind of ammunition. Catherine and Raina were very happy hearing the news of Sergius' victory. But Sergius was not promoted as he acted against the military rules. Ultimately, he realizes that war is a hollow sham. It is Bluntschli who exposes Sergius' folly of cavalry charge to Raina, and gradually her romance about war is shattered. In Arms the Man, Shaw exposes the follies of romantic love. Both Sergius and Raina have romantic love for each other. They speak of higher love, but their highest love fails to bind them together. Sergius falls in love with Louka and Raina with Bluntschli, as reality demands. Thus, Shaw in the play shows both war and love not as a romance but as a reality. Question 3. What is wit? Answer. Wit is the saying of fine, sparkling things which startle and delight. Wit formerly meant sense. During the Renaissance period, it meant intelligence or wisdom. In the 17th century, it meant fancies, dexterity of thought and imagination. In modern times, wit is limited to intellectually amusing utterances intended to delight and surprise. According to Sengupta, wit is concerned with the incongruity and opposition between words and phrases, fancies and opinions, while humor delights in abnormalities and sentiments and idiosyncrasies of character. Thus, which is a clever use of language which delights only in the combination of words and fancies. It differs from humor in being intellectual and verbal. Question 4. Cite examples of Shaw's wit used in Arms the Man. Answer. Shaw is a master in the use of wit. Sergius is in love with Raina, but he flirts with Louka and tells her that he is half a dozen different persons in one. When he asks Loka whether she would spy out of the windows on him if she was in love with him, she wittily replies, "Well, you see, sir, since you say you are half a dozen different gentlemen at once, I should have a great deal to look after." The cowardice of the soldier is wittily expressed through Sergius when he says that soldiering is the coward's art of attacking the enemy when the enemy is weaker and keeping out of the danger when the enemy is stronger. When Sergius refuses to fight the duel with Bluntschli, Bluntschli wittily expresses the soldier's professional attitude by saying, "I fight when I have to and am very glad to get out of it when I haven't to." When Bluntschli comes to the Petkov's house to return the coat, Raina addresses him as a chocolate cream soldier. She at once covers her remark, lying wittily, "I made a beautiful ornament this morning for the ice pudding, and that stupid Nicola has just put down a pile of plates on it and spoilt it." Question 5. What is humor? Answer. Humor is something that causes laughter or amusement. Originally, it was a term of medieval science. By the time of Renaissance, the humors were four bodily fluids: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. That mixture of these determined a person's disposition, character, mind, morality, and temperament. A humorous character is a person whose temperament or disposition is out of balance. Humor is allied to the sensitiveness of the human heart. Humor is different from wit. Wit causes superficial laughter, while there is something deep and pathetic in the laughter of humor. Humor is genial. It is thinking in fun while feeling in earnest. The essence of humor is contrast. Humor arises from appreciation of the incongruities between what is and what ought to be. It arises when anything falls below the normal level. It may also arise from the incongruities of character or situation. Question 6. Cite examples of the use of humor from Ernst the Man. Answer. Ernst the Man is full of rich humor. Raina's meeting with Bluntschli in her bedroom at midnight is a great source of humor. Bluntschli fights for the Serbs who are defeated by the Bulgarians. Fleeing from the battlefield, he takes shelter to save his life in the bedroom of Raina, who is a Bulgarian lady. On that occasion, Raina's self-possession and Bluntschli's perturbation are expected. But what happens is just the opposite. On behalf of Petkov, Bluntschli does all about the disposal of 3 regiments to Philippopolis. Petkov does nothing, but after the long being completed, he says, "Oh, well, I think we have done a thundering good day's work. Can I do anything more?" These words are full of humor. When Sergius addresses Catherine as mother in the garden of Petkov family, Major Petkov humorously corrects him, saying, "Mother-in-law Sergius, mother-in-law, how Catherine prides on their electric bill. 2 staircase and 1 library provides a good deal of humor. The coat episode, the photograph episode, and the chocolate cream episode are all sources of farcical humor." Shaw is a great humorist who attacks in the play whatever is false and nonsensical. Question 7. Define stage directions. What are the purpose of stage directions? Answer. Stage directions denote the information given to the actor, director, or reader to realize the setting, characters, and action in a play. Stage directions are not parts of the dialogue. Stage directions are added to a script of a play to indicate the improvement of a character's appearance, character, and manner, the style of delivery, the actor's movements, details of location, scenery, and effects. Stage directions may be brief or lengthy. The purpose of stage directions are mainly three. First, stage directions throw light on author's own view of characters. Secondly, they provide necessary atmosphere and background of the play. Lastly, the detailed stage directions immensely help the stage business of a theatrical production. Question 8. What do you think about Shaw's stage directions? Answer. In the plays of Shaw, we find elaborate stage directions. His stage directions contain directions and information about dress, background, gestures, and expressions. They provide necessary atmosphere, comment upon stage setting, and interpret characters. His stage directions are elaborate because he wanted to give his plays a complete artistic existence as printed books. He was suspicious of the fact that his play would not be allowed to be staged on the commercial ground because of their unpleasant themes. So he wanted to give his plays printed forms. If the plays are printed, they are not intelligible to the readers without necessary directions regarding the characters and stage business. So his stage directions are elaborate to make his plays known to those who do not go to the theater. In Answer the Man, stage directions give the elaborate description of Rainer's bedroom. In the stage directions, Shaw gives some description of his dramatic characters. In the stage directions, Shaw presents Rainer as romantic, Catherine as energetic, Loka as beautiful and arrogant, Bluntschli as witty and practical, Nikolai as a cool-tempered servant, Sergius as a tall, romantically handsome man, and Petkov as a cheerful, unpolished man of about 50. Question 9. What is farce? Answer. Farce is the lowest kind of humor which arises from situation. It results in raw laughter rather than smiles. In a farce, the dramatist creates situations and characters merely for laughter, and there is no serious element. The basic elements of farce are exaggerated physical action, exaggeration of character and situation, absurd situations and improbable events, and surprises in the form of unexpected appearances and disclosures. A farce is different from a comedy. A comedy is a picture of everyday life of man and woman with their weaknesses and drawbacks. There may be much of fun and some farcical elements in it, but mere laughter is not the main purpose of the dramatist. There is a serious purpose in a comedy which ends happily. Question 10. What farcical elements do you find in Answer the Man? Answer. Answer the Man is rich in the element of farce. In the play, we find an element of farce when Rainer sits at Bluntschli's revolver, not seeing it. When he points out that she has sat on the revolver, she jumps hysterically, which makes the audience laugh loudly. Rainer sometimes makes herself unconsciously farcical by her silly romanticism, ignorance, and pretensions as a cultured girl. She tells Bluntschli with a great pride that she belongs to the Petkov family, which is the richest and the best known family in Bulgaria. She again says that her father is a major who holds the highest command in the Bulgarian army. She again says that the house of the Petkovs is the only private house that has 2 rows of windows and a flight of stairs. She takes pride in their library, which is the only one in Bulgaria. All these are childishly farcical. The characters of Petkov and Catherine are almost practical. They are boasting of their having a library, and an electric bell is farcical. He's angry, shouting at Nicola instead of pressing on the electric bell. His humorous search for Rainer's photo in his coat pocket make the audience laugh. Sergius flirting with Loka immediately after speaking of higher love and his quarrel with Raina, refusal to fight the duel with Bluntschli have much of the farcical touch. Question 11. What is a comedy? Answer. A comedy is a literary work that deals with humorous, familiar events and the behavior of ordinary people speaking everyday language. It is a picture of everyday life of man and woman with their weaknesses and drawbacks. It always ends happily. The purpose of comedy is to ridicule and expose some human or social folly or weakness. It laughs at human folly, but the purpose of the laughter is to drive that folly out of courts. Thank you friends for watching my video.